41 yards after only 40 the week before. How much of that bump was a better performance, and how much of it was any scheme or play calling changes?
We had a really good plan in the Houston game. We had a really good beat on what they were doing, and we had a couple checks and balances we were going through on the sideline, getting us into a really good play. But you know, we really came off the ball. I think, you know, Coach Orlando down there at Houston, you know, found Coach Fry after the game and said, "Hey man, you guys, your O-line really dominated us up front tonight," and that meant a lot, you know, because we did a good job up front, moving those guys out of the way, and you know, backs ran hard. You know, you just hate that you have, you know, 3 fumbles, you know, really 3 critical, you know, freshman mistakes, which that's going to happen. But we're not gonna look away from those guys or, you know, shun those guys in any way. In fact, I even called and talked to those guys on Friday and just told them, "Hey, y'all gonna get better. We're gonna be fine." So, but we did. We had a really good game plan. I felt like, man, we've had some really good plans. We executed for the most part in every game in the first half. You know, and it's just a tale of 2 halves for us right now. We've you know, asked our guys, what is it at halftime? Because we didn't make any adjustments against Houston. We had, like I said, we had a really good plan, so we didn't need to change anything. And you know, in the second half, we just couldn't, for whatever reason, right out of the gate, defense creates turnover and we can't score. And at that point, it was just like we couldn't do anything. And we got to continue just to play 4 quarters and play the next play and see what happens. And we got to do a better job of that. And we've been asked our guys, you know, what is it at halftime that we need to do better? And you know, I made a joke that we need to have inside drill on the sideline. Don't even go in the locker room. Whatever we do in the locker room ain't working. So we've thought about having a Skelly period on the sideline like band plays or something, you know. But we got to find something to get going in the second half this week and try to play 4 quarters. And as three units, as a special teams unit, defense, offensive unit, all play together for 4 quarters, and let's see what happens, like Coach was saying.
If you crunch the numbers offensively, there's big improvements in every phase. How frustrating is it to have such, you know, have them playing so well, but it's just these errors that they, mental things.
Yeah, you know, right now we're not good enough to make mistakes. You know, we're just not. Whether it be we're not good enough to take a series off. We're not good enough to take, you know, one guy take a play off. We got to have all 11 guys playing on every single play. And playing and executing at a high level is what we got to have. So you know, we're doing really good. Like Coach said, we're seeing a lot of improvement. We just got to take that next step and all play together. I mean, a lot of the time, coaches want me to find, you know, a couple clips to show our team where everybody did their job and everybody did it perfectly. You know, and that's really hard to find right now, when all 11 guys do what they're supposed to do. Now, when we all do it, and I do find those certain clips, it's a thing of beauty. And we just got to continue to work to get better and do that every play.
Coach Morris talked about getting some guys back from injuries, and he mentioned Evan Brown and Chris Weeks. How much have they been limited the last few weeks?
Well, a lot. I mean, they've been playing. I mean, we've duct taped them up, you know, put bubble wrap on them, and we were doing everything we could do just to get them through games. And they've played hurt, and they've played with bumps and bruises, and they've done a really good job considering, you know. And it was really good last week. I know Coach talked about it, but we let a lot of other guys play, a lot of other guys get some reps to give those guys some time off and kind of recover. I think it was really big for Chris. I think Chris was dealing with a couple different things. Evan was dealing with a couple different things. Lasecki was dealing with a couple different things. So it was really good from an offensive line standpoint, the week off. And Coach Fry did a really good job of limiting those guys and putting them in only when we needed them and gave them a chance to rest.
Coach, how are you seeing Matt develop the intellectual side of his game in the film room, just, you know, as a student of football?
Yeah, he's got a small workload this academic year, and so he's been able to come in and watch some film and do a lot on his own. I'm his coach, so I'm gonna tell you he's got to do more of it to get to where he wants to go. He's gonna have to continue to grow in that area, but he's definitely, you know, he's been around a lot of different systems, had 2 or 3 different coaches, offense coordinators, quarterback coaches, so he's been around the block and knows a lot of football. Now he's taking it to the next level, and we've challenged those guys to go home, watch the Memphis game. Tell me what free safety did on Sam Fire or whatever, and just small things that we've given them to go home, kind of homework on their own, kind of go home and kind of a checks and balance list of, hey, what do the defense give me when I get into this certain formation or whatever it is, and Matt's done a really good job of that. But again, all those guys, I think I mentioned earlier in the year, all those guys need to continue to develop in that and continue to do more. I don't think we're quite doing enough on our own from a whole unit, from an offensive standpoint. We're actually putting, I know some of them know this, but some of them don't. I'm going to hit them with it today. That we kind of put a little hidden message and some tips and reminders to see who's reading those, and so we're getting silent feedback because the guys that are reading it are seeing the hidden message and they're coming and telling us, and some of them aren't. So we know who is and who isn't doing their job. So we're going to address that today.
Both you and Coach Morris had talked about being able to put 4 quarters together, execute in the second half. When you've been able to watch the film from these last few games where you weren't able to hang in there in the second half or not execute, is it more that you're seeing the guys just not being able to execute, or defenses figuring out what you're doing and being able to stop you?
Like I said earlier, just a second ago, it wasn't anything that Houston did differently in the second half. They did the exact same thing. We just had 1 or 2 guys on 1 or 2 plays not do their job, and when you're only playing with 9 or 10 guys, that's difficult. They let you use 11 in this game, and we got to use all 11. And we're just using 9, 8 guys. It's hard. It's difficult. It's really, really difficult. And so we got to continue just to get better as a team. All 11 players playing at a high level. Hey, if you're tired, we'll get you out. You don't take a play off, because you never know. We always preach that. You never know one play can change the game. You never know that Cortland Sutton's down the field blocking on a screenplay, and he gets knocked down, and that guy makes the tackle, or it's a touchdown. It's just things like that you can't afford to take a play off right now from our standpoint, and you got to play with all 11 guys on every play. If you get tired, tap your helmet, we'll get you out.
After the start he had, Cortland Sutton's been getting more and more attention, double teams, safety coming over to help out. How's he dealing with the extra attention and maybe the fewer opportunities that he's getting because of it?
He's doing fine. He's a team player, and he knows if we call his number, he needs to make a play. If we don't call his number, he needs to block down the field and try to spring one of our other guys or one of our running backs or tight ends or Matt or whoever. And so he's handling it okay. Just trying to find different ways, again, to move him around and different ways to not keep him stationary where the defense can't take him away is our job. And we got to continue to get better at that and try to find different ways to get him the ball.
Coach Morris mentioned the good week of practice you had. You talked about the young guys making mistakes. Braden West had a couple of fumbles against Houston. How did he respond to that?
Yeah, he was very disappointed. As you probably would think he was. He was at home. He's from the Houston area, and I was looking forward to a big game, and he just he's 160 pounds soaking wet. He's playing as a freshman, and he's giving us everything he's got. And I've always commended him and patted him on the butt. Pass protection. Golly, he stands in there at 160 pounds and takes on Mason Gentry to practice. He's not scared. By no means is he scared. It just, that stuff happens sometimes, and it just happened to be your night where you had 2 of them, and that was kind of my message to him on Friday. Obviously, he was very disappointed to do that, but at this point in the season, like Coach said, really last year we were 1-5. Last year we were 1-5. This year we got 6 games, and let's see what happens. And the reason I say that is because those freshmen, they're no longer freshmen. This is their second season, in my opinion. And last year, the 1-5 year, they were freshmen, and now they've learned from it. Now they got 6 games to let's go see what happens and see if we can go put 6 games together. Something that.
You got a few weeks of film now with Chad Persley at left tackle. How would you evaluate his development?
He's doing a really good job. A really good job. You know, at 275 pounds, you know, we have a couple of software deals, data deals where we get on a regular basis, and I think they came out and said he was out of 306 tackles in the country. That number might be on one or two off, but he was 21st in the country. And so that's really, really good. And again, he's been grading out well, been doing his assignment really, really well. Pass blocking has been great, so he's doing a really good job. And excited to see, you know, we're going to try to mix in Chauncey in there too, and try to get, you know, challenge Chauncey to come back and get better, and try to move him around a little bit, and just try to, again, continue to find the best five in there to get some cohesiveness that will help us throughout the rest of the season.
Okay, thanks a lot.